Week 17 of the 2023-24 NBA season is over, which means it's time to run it back. This is Run It Back NBA Week in Review. I'm Jose Salviati, editor at thepeachbasket.net. This is the show where we recap the week that was in the NBA and then highlight the marquee matchup for the week to come. We'll start like we always do with the only objective overall top 10 NBA power rankings anywhere. You can read more about how we get to these rankings and see the entire list at thepeachbasket.net. Let's take a look at the top 10 after week number 17. Starting us off at number 10 are the Indiana Pacers. They dropped one spot after a 1-1 week in week number 17. Moving up a spot are the Sacramento Kings. They had a 1-2 week last week. The number 8 spot belongs to the New York Knicks, who dropped one spot after a winless 0-2 week. The New Orleans Pelicans, they were perfect in week number 17. Good enough to move them up a spot to number 7. The next 2 spots remain the same. The Cleveland Cavaliers were 1-1 and they stay at number 6. The Los Angeles Clippers also finished the week at 1-1 and stay at the number 5 spot. The world champion Denver Nuggets drop a spot after a winless 0-2 week. The Oklahoma City Thunder were perfect at 2-0 and they move up a spot to take over number 3. The last 2 teams have remained the same for the last 5 weeks in a row. Minnesota was perfect at 3-0 and they come in at number 2. And the best team in the association are once again the Boston Celtics. They had a perfect 3-0 week and remain at the top. That's the objective top 10 list for week number 17. Again, if you want to see where all 30 teams land this week, please visit thepeachbasket.net. Or you can also take a look at the Run It Back shows for our individual teams. We don't have all 30 teams covered yet, but we do have a couple. As that grows, we'll continue to add links so that you could follow your team as well. Now let's shift our focus to the players. These are the best to do it by average in week number 17 of the 2023-24 NBA season. These are the best by average in shooting, rebounds, assists, blocks, steals, points, and game score. The best to do it in the NBA. The points leader was Jalen Brunson. Despite a rough loss for the Knicks this week, a loss that has been protested, and maybe that game's going to be replayed. It'd be interesting to see. Jalen Brunson led the association in points per game in week 17. He played 3 games and averaged 33 points. The best sniper in week 17 was Steph Curry, again. This is the 3rd week in a row he leads that category. This week he made 6.8 3-point field goals on average over his 4 games played. The best shooter overall, best in total field goals made after week 17 was Giannis Antetokounmpo. He averaged 13.3 over his 3 games played. Anthony Davis is on a tear. He was the best rebounder in the association after week 17, averaging 14.5 rebounds over his 3 games. Precious Achiuwa of the New York Knicks. I hope I pronounced that correct. Precious, forgive me if I didn't. He averaged 7.3 offensive rebounds in his 3 games played. AD is back. Anthony Davis, he averaged the most defensive rebounds at 11.5. The best facilitator of week 17 in the association was Washington Wizards' Tyus Jones. He averaged 13.3 dimes in his 3 games played. Order has been restored, I'm happy to say, in the blocks leader. Last week, the best rim protector was Fred VanVleet. I kid you not. This week, it's Victor Wembanyama. That makes more sense. He averaged 4.7 blocks. That included a triple-double with 10 blocks in 1 game. The top thief was Saban Lee of the Phoenix Suns. He played a single game, but had 4 steals, and that counts. That's the average. He was the best to do it in the association in week number 17. Finally, the most productive player, taking into account points, rebounds, steals, assists, turnovers, etc., everything. This is the most impactful player, the most productive player. For week number 17, that player is Giannis Antetokounmpo. He finished the week with a game score of 31 to lead the association. Week number 18 is another sort of short week as the NBA returns from the All-Star break, but there are quite a few intriguing matchups. In the East, the number 4 Knicks host the number 1 Celtics. In the West, the number 2 Thunder host the number 3 Clippers. And the best across-conference matchup is the number 1 Timberwolves hosting the number 3 Milwaukee Bucks. We hope to host a watch party watching and commenting on some of those games, at least one of those. Please add us on X at @thepeachbasket_ to learn more and stay up to date on which game we will be hosting that watch party on playback. That's it. Week 17 of the 2023-24 NBA season is in the books. Join us next week after week number 18 when we once again run it back.